Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Strategic Command World War II War in Europe, our Let's Play series playing as the Germans in World War II. In our last, two episodes ago, we managed to take Kubajev, the second Soviet capital. The Soviets have moved their capital to Perm. It is the final capital that we have to try and take. At that point, the Soviets will collapse. But right now, their morale is still at 61, which is manageable. The British morale is at 61, and the Americans are at 94. We are dealing with basically an overextended, poor supply line situation in the Soviet Union, which is keeping them in the game. Also, rough terrain. We're starting to enter into some mountainous terrain. And despite my best efforts of trying to push supplies forward here, we're dealing with some logistical penalties, but maybe we'll be in a better situation next turn once we have a chance to consolidate up near Kubajev. In the south, in the Caucasus, supply is also a challenge. We also don't have enough headquarters units there, but overall supply is a little bit difficult. We're trying to pincer or pocket a large Soviet formation north of Stavropol. If we manage to, with a very thin pincer, by the way, this anti-tank gun will not survive enemy counterattacks. But in the event that we are able to close that pocket, you know, it'll be good news for us. We could probably eliminate the cream of what is left of the Soviet armed forces. They do have 63 units. There's like 10 here, and then probably another 10 here in the south near Baku, which we're also assaulting through Persia. Meanwhile, the biggest development since last time around is that we ran into not just a big chunk of the British fleet, but also apparently large numbers of American troops on landing craft out here. I don't know if they were transiting to England or if there was an American invasion of France that was about to begin. I did relocate a bunch of German forces to the coast, although they do need to be upgraded because most of these are fresh troops. And we do have several units in Poland, which could also be immediately redeployed. Not this turn because we don't have the money, but I assume a big part of the German fleet may get destroyed next turn. I've tried to relocate a bunch of fighters to western France because we're in the Channel, and the British have a lot of bombers and other things like that which can hit these boys. There are also British battleships here. There's also British carriers between Ireland and whatnot. So I'm a little bit worried about what they may do against our fleet in the Channel. We're bringing up as much of the Italian fleet as we can, as well as quickly as we can, to try and eliminate the British here. But if we take a look, the Americans have 27 land units, the British have 30. The naval units are the air units, of which the Americans have a bunch in England. They have 15, British have 10. But then also the naval units, the British have 21. The Americans only have 3. But, you know, a huge portion of the British fleet is here. The problem is our submarine fleet largely needs to be sort of retrofitted because most of them are, you know, not in good shape. They've been fighting for a while, and that's kind of where we find ourselves. Also, apparently there's a badly damaged British cruiser up here. I don't know what they have the money to repair or what they don't. It's May of 43. Let's end the turn. Let's see what this has in store for us. All right, so we're taking some attrition here in the east because we've got units that are out of supply. We're in, again, Russia's difficult to manage. Also, apparently we're taking some attrition in Persia. Yes, we're going to send those ships through the Strait of Gibraltar. Soviet partisans are becoming a bigger issue here. Not so much rising up against us, but impacting logistics. We're trying to get our logistics tech to the next level. Italy has developed industry level 5, so they've pretty much maxed out their economy. Hey, Hauser, how you doing? But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what this turn has in store for us. They're going to advance out of Baku to close that encirclement. But that does mean the unit which we had been battering in the outskirts of Baku didn't get a chance to reinforce, so maybe my armor can finish them off. Meanwhile, you can see here enemy air activity over the Channel, as we said. Looks like they're going for a... I don't know, why would they bomb a patrol boat? I'm totally fine if they want to waste their air attacks on a largely meaningless and worthless unit. If they don't want to go for my capital ships, fine. The other thing is the Italian fleet, which has been brought up here, does not have sufficient air defenses. The German units at least have level 2 anti-aircraft, which gives them some degree of protection. The Italians do not. So the Italian ships are much more vulnerable to enemy air attack. as well. Meanwhile, we saw them move a unit south towards Stavropol. They are moving units here to prevent the encirclement. Looks like they're moving south to avoid it, actually. But if they want to give me more oil wells and stuff like that in the Caucasus, great. I didn't have enough strength to hold it shut anyway. The best chance was just you cut off supply for a turn, weaken them, and then you can crush them while they break out. Kind of a Falaise pocket scenario, perhaps. Okay. The replays are always kind of interesting because they always have, the way the game works, it seems like there are multiple phases of combat or of thinking for the AI, where they'll do something in one area, you'll see a bunch of resolution, then things will move again, and then they'll do something again. So it's like they don't move all their units all at once. Not sure why, but meanwhile, we're getting hit with enemy bombers out of Birmingham. They had some British fighter escorts. Our Romanian fighters here are battling against American fighters over France as they try and... I can't even see, like, the AI's... The map isn't moved down for me to see what they're actually bombing. This is kind of strange. I guess that's probably a more frequent occurrence when you have longer range stuff, because it always moves your image to the unit that is attacking, not the unit that is being attacked, I guess. Meanwhile, you can see there's a bombing raid going in on this Italian battleship, which only has a strength of 4. We've got some German fighters overhead to try and minimize the damage, but you can see there they did 3 damage to that guy. And if they bomb it again, they'll destroy it. I mean, that's what happens when you don't have adequate air defense on your ships. But yeah, they destroyed a patrol boat. Good for you. I don't care. Now they're going for a heavy cruiser in the channel. I care more about that. We do have some interceptors hitting the bombers on their way in. These guys do have level 2 air defense, so they take some damage, but not quite as bad as the Italian battleship did. Meanwhile, some American tactical air going against the same cruiser. Oh, they got it. I don't even know what America's naval attack capabilities are, but that's a little concerning. They've got so much air power. Again, the channel is not a good place for our ships to be, as they badly damage a battleship there, too. Shock army coming south from Kazan against a Hungarian army there in the woods. Hopefully that's all the air attacks on the shipping. Tell me I'm a Canuck, making that title perfect. I am not Canadian, Terrazo, but I do have Canadian friends. I got a new one today. Alright. Alright, so Soviet counteroffensives now under, in full swing. We got some defensive artillery protecting this Romanian army here on the Gorky front, I'll call it, to the west of Chabarovsky. What are they doing? Oh my god, they landed in France! Ah! So this was D-Day? Early? They're landing in Biscay? What the fuck? With massively understrengthened units there, too. What is that? There's a new unit type I don't think I've ever seen before. It looks like a mortar troop. I mean, if the goal is for them to win a Pyrrhic naval victory, like for us to win a naval victory but it be Pyrrhic, like that certainly could happen. They just tried to move those amphibs past a battleship and it suffered 70% casualties. The tank unit got ashore near Lorient basically unscathed, though. That's a problem because all of my troops here are not upgraded. I can rail in a bunch of armies to try and pin them in, though. It's interesting they landed in Biscay, though, because it's the one place we don't have the coastal guns to defend against. Oh, well, we do have one near Brest, but they avoided it, I guess. Soviet armor here. This is a long turn for the Soviets here. That armor is nearly destroyed. More like F today. I mean, hey, listen, I don't want I don't want to jinx anything. There's a strike going on in Denmark against the occupation. Well, sorry, guys. Alright, so we lost a heavy cruiser and a torpedo boat, as well as a Flieger Corps. So that was not a cheap turn. I don't know how they're going to supply that tank. It's got 0 supply, so... Alright, we just shattered the 8th American Corps here, which landed at St. Malo. Can these guys hit back here? No. What about offshore? They can't even... Alright, so I'm not probably going to be able to destroy this tank unit this turn. I got to get these ships out of the channel, too. They evaded the damage? Those bastards. Alright, so we destroyed that first corps at sea. Motor torpedo boat. God damn it. There's still so many ships here. Alright. Let's move our sub's gonna go for this British battleship, the Valiant, see if we can destroy it. Didn't, but it drove it away. Oh my god. I keep getting this sort of surprise movement where I don't actually get to shoot at the guy I want to shoot at, and it is very frustrating. Alright, so... Can't even get this guy out of here. Alright, this Italian battleship will move down to southern France to refit. Can you finish off this British battleship? Yes, you can. Mainly did that to try and get it out of the way so I could pull my own battleship back. Go for the troop transports. 13th U.S. Army, by the way. Pull the sub back. Try and move this battleship. Can we get this guy into port near Lorient? We can. We can bombard the tanks ashore, too. I would think this tank is not going to be able to attack with no supply. This Italian battleship. Go after this British battleship, the Nelson. And then we avoid the counterfire. Nice. Alright, so pull back here. Move this 6th strength, 7th strength into port, I guess. Why did he not move? The stupid Americans in the way again? Okay. Well, this Italian cruiser shatter the Nelson, another British battleship destroyed. Well, we can move these guys back into port. The sub will go for the Kent in port. The heavy cruiser. Subs can attack ports more effectively. Aviation can too. Where are all our bombers, by the way? Did we leave them all behind? Kind of. Our rockets will hit London. What were they bombing anyway? Let's do some recon here. We'll have some interceptors, but I want to try and see what my battleship's going to see as it tries to move through the channel. Alright, so there's one British landing craft here. Can we hit it? We'll get some interceptors, but maybe we'll be able to do some damage. Nice, 4 damage there. 5 damage, so there's only 1 left. Got it. Nice. Okay, so we destroyed that enemy force at sea. There's another enemy landing force here that I just happened to scout across. There's 2. Oh my god, are they just full-on attacking at sea now at this point? Alright, so we got that guy. So another ship destroyed at sea. Hopefully these guys can get out of there. This heavy cruiser has not attacked anybody yet. Alright, we'll get that second core at sea. They've got 1 left in their air wing here, so this carrier's air wing's pretty much toast for now. I was hoping we'd destroy that guy with that cruiser attack, but apparently not. Oh, goddamn. Screening destroyers. It retreated past these screening destroyers and I couldn't get to it. Alright, can this battleship make it in this way? It can. So this Italian battleship will finish off the Ark Royal. And then hopefully escape too much punishment. It's kind of further away from the British home waters, so maybe it's safer. This guy cannot make it in to hit any of these targets, can it? Zone of controls are weird. Let's hit this British light cruiser. Sink it, hopefully. Not quite. Drove it off. I can pull back. I don't have much fighter cover left. Most of these guys are swimming. They're not swimming, but about to be. Let's pull that ship back here. Get some of these guys out under a little more cover. Do we want to try and finish off this cruiser? Again, what's their navy look like now? 18 ships? The Americans have commissioned 4 new ones. 25, 28. So we're doing damage to their forces. These bombers need to be further west. They can't do anything from here. Upgrade some of these coastal units. Guess we'll move this guy through the channel. Yep, I had some Italian ships run the strait. Shatter that light cruiser. The Belfast is not going to be a museum ship. She's going to be dead. Got another landing ship. How many landing craft do they want to have? Alright, we'll move our sub down here into the channel. They moved the cruiser, which had been at Cromarty. Looks like they moved it to Scapa. Alright, let's move some of these Polish, the armies in Poland west, to hopefully isolate this one American unit that made it ashore. Hopefully the British don't send anything else. I mean, they've got a bunch of troops on landing craft, so you got to assume they're going to try and land. Yeah, so they've got at least one more American unit, 2 British units, a headquarters and a corps. The American unit's a corps. They've got a ground unit that has nowhere to go, so should take attrition damage. 2 American destroyers are here. Again, they did just commission 4 more ships this turn. I can't move this anywhere to attack, so we might as well move this Italian ship to bombard the Americans. At least hurt their morale and effectiveness, if nothing else. And move these guys up. Okay. These guys should be safe, I would think, down here. But just in case, let's upgrade the port to have level 2 air defenses, which should help. We should do that for all these ports around here, too. I think it helps if they attack units that are in port, if we upgrade the port. Who knows? Maybe they'll spend this turn reinforcing their air groups, which took, you know, some damage from our own fighters. I hope they do, because what I really don't want to do is I don't want these guys to intercept and then get blown apart. Alright, meanwhile, the loss of all these ships has hurt British morale. They're down to 58%. The US is at 94%. Move this army west, also via rail. I don't know where they're gonna land. Like, they could land some of these places, but not. I wouldn't think they would. Meanwhile, on the Russia front, what are these guys? Are these like upgraded special forces? That's just a corps. I don't... What is their upgrade that they've got such cool looking kit? Shift north to try and deal with this shock army. And fighters. We don't really have any escorts here because we moved them all to France, but we did manage to destroy that enemy shock army. We have to deal with disproportionate casualties from these enemy fighters as we try and attack these guys. There we go. Rocket artillery behind us. What are they upgraded to that they've got the cool looking gear? Can we please destroy them? Almost. I can't bomb that far out either. I'll attack this Russian headquarters. What is our supply going to look like with us pushing that far ahead? It's still manageable. Swing around these guys, get in behind them. And destroy them! Take that town. These guys are surrounded now. Stein, thank you for the resub. Appreciate it. Alright, so we've isolated both the 1st tanks and the 8th Corps. Our own supply situation probably won't be pretty for these guys, but hopefully not 0. Okay, so in theory we've also cut these guys off from the rest of Russia, although again they do have ports on both sides of the Caspian Sea that if the game modeled it, they could, you know, make us, you know, make them able to supply. Alright, we just destroyed an army here. Is this unoccupied? Main problem here is that they could come down and hit our headquarters unit cheaply. Alright, we shattered that special forces unit with air power. Air power saves the day. Alright, let's move here. Enemy contact. So... we've got 2 armies here. I don't know if they'll try and move south to Persia to cut our forces off here. We'll take these oil wells here to deny them their income from them, and we'll go for the Baku forces next turn. Alright, we'll do a little damage to them. With that artillery unit, so we can have a little artillery duel next turn. See what these guys do, if they try and push into Persia against Rommel's headquarters, or what. Move a garrison unit of Persians up. And we'll invade the eastern bank of the Caspian Sea with some garrison troops there as we move on Kerman and try and take the rest of Persia. Is there a risk of any uprising in here? It doesn't look like it. Baku, sure, but we're not there yet. Meanwhile, don't forget, I've also got to take Tunisia, so let's go ahead and move the Italian... Oh, there's troops there? Alright. Well, shoot. So the Italians land north of Tunis. I don't have a headquarters unit there. Really could use it. I'd like for Tunisia to be taken by the Italians. Really need to get these guys all to the Atlantic to fight the war down there. Alright, let's unprepare them, and then I'd like to move them to Marsla so they can do a pair drop, but I don't want to pair drop them internally because you lose casualties even dropping into friendly territory, which is a little frustrating, but... or take casualties, not lose them. We can't hit any of those guys. Gosh, this huge force. So many, like, well-equipped Soviet troops out this way. What's the supply situation going to look like next turn? They're going to be out of supply. Okay. Hopefully they'll pull supply forward with them a little bit. Mostly trying to cut these Soviet troops off in this little pocket here. But they've already got terrible supply in there, so we'll pull these guys back. Trying to wear him down. Oh, man. Okay. They're adjacent to a headquarters. You'd think they'd be able to pull some supply. Let's get the engineer unit here near Lake Onega. So we can go for this first corps up here in the north. No, we drove it back. We don't have any supply here, though. That gonna change next turn? A little bit, maybe. Okay. Can we finish these guys off ever? Maybe? Maybe? Yes! We got them! We got the 43rd Army, or whatever they're called. We'll take the town here. And we should have some supply next turn for these guys. Go from, well, they're already at 5 and 3, but 4 and 3? I don't know, whatever. May also cut the supply off to the other Soviet troops in this northern theater. I'd love to get to Archangel, which will cut off British... Well, wait a minute. Actually, maybe... There's no convoy route here. What did we do to kill that? Is it weather-based? Or is it because we cut the rail line that Archangel has no rail line here? So maybe we... I don't know. What did we do to kill that convoy route? I'm not sure. Maybe it's weather-based. Maybe it's because it's still frozen. Okay. I don't even know how I'm going to get to Perm. I guess just try and drive through these guys. What is their strength at? It's 57. I don't have headquarters where they need to be. Alright. What can we do here? I don't think that'll actually do anything for us. But in theory, I just cut the rail line to these guys up here. To Stavropol. Let's try and take Kropotkin, I guess. Reinforce these air units. We'll shift these troops around. Destroy the first Guards army. Good result there. So we got one of their units. What else can I move down here? We can move this unit. Didn't do any damage, but we moved it. Alright, well, we're not going to finish off the core in Kropotkin, but the supplies are going to be miserable for our guys on this sale. Maybe not. Alright, that Italian corps did some damage. They need to be removed from the fight, though. Go ahead and see if we can weaken this mechanized force. Destroyed it. Nice. Okay, we finished off that garrison unit there. Alright. I don't know what my rockets can do. Maybe it's a morale killer. I don't know. I don't want to attack where there's a strong enemy anti-aircraft, so we'll avoid that. We'll bomb these guys over here. A little bit of forced marching. Stalingrad and Ross are the only places we've got to keep troops for now. To prevent an uprising anyway. Unless any of these other areas inside the USSR are changing. Meanwhile, we've got new fresh troops we can, in Poland. Go ahead and rail them in to try and continue the pocketing of the troops in the Caucasus. It feels like the place to deploy most of our troops. Like, I guess theoretically we can deploy some to the push on Perm, but I don't have the logistical apparatus to support a whole lot more there, or maybe in the Kuybyshev front, and that's about it. Also, there's always the risk, and you want to leave perhaps some reserve available for dealing with a further invasion of France. But just keep the drive going, I guess, in and around here. We also do have 500 points to spend. Germany doesn't have any bandwidth on R&D. Italy's got a little. Let's work on amphibious. We might need that. And then for Germany, we've got 500 MPPs to purchase. Let's buy another headquarters unit, I guess. New fighters unit, maybe, without upgrading it. Italian motor torpedo boats aren't really going to be useful in France. I don't think I can deploy them there. But that does it for June 2nd, 1943. I've got units melting away in the east still. Yep, go through the strait. Same for the Italians. Alright, heavy bomber development for Germany. Amphib warfare level 3 for Germany could be useful if we ever actually have to invade England. Production tech 1 will make Italian stuff cheaper. I do want Tunis to fall to the Italian mechanized troops we just landed there, if only because I really want to make sure that, you know, it makes sense to me. If Libya is Italian, then so too should be Tunis bordering it. I can't remember who took Cairo, if it was the Italians or not, if it's counting toward their income. Meanwhile, German subs getting attacked by American destroyers. Not really shocking there. German destroyers getting attacked by British subs north of Scapa. The Russians are trying to widen the Caucasus pocket to make sure that we don't surround them in that area. I would think a big chunk of their income will be lost. There's a lot of oil wells in the Caucasus, which presumably represent a big chunk of income, which will take some while for Germany to bring online, because when you take a city, it goes from like whatever its max production is down to 0 or 1, and then each turn after that it regenerates some. So I would think that even if we take all those facilities, it won't dramatically help Germany's economy, but it might torpedo the Soviet economy, especially with so much of the Soviet Union already under our control, and the fact that that convoy is currently, at least temporarily, shut off between England and an American battleship, great, between England and Russia, that maybe that's already hurting their economy, so much so that they won't be able to replace their losses, hopefully. All right, they're trying to bomb something. Our fighters just intercepted them. You know, you want to go for my subs, that's fine, because subs are the least... I feel like subs are the hardest for them to effectively bomb. Maybe maritime bombers have a different setup, but they're flying without escorts against The Hague? Alright, they got some escorts here over... They're going for a motor torpedo boat again, which... God bless you, go for that. Maybe they're going for it because it doesn't have any upgrades for anti-aircraft. I don't know. British battleships are bombarding Cherbourg. Are they going to land troops? Is this like a 1943 Normandy desperation play? Is Stalin saying, I'm going to have to drop out of the war if you don't do something now? I suppose that could be the logic for the invasion. Okay. Alright. Another landing. Man, they really just, they're landing all over. And they're landing places, they're not taking ports. So how are they gonna... Alright, that is one thing I don't like. Not, I mean, like, it makes sense for them, but their amphib, you get to attack without landing once. And that's something you see in the Pacific game a lot, too. So if you've got, like, a high amphib rating, you can do quite a bit of damage to a unit, and then drop on land, and then attack him again. But this appears to be a full-blown D-Day scenario, where they just aren't dropping a lot of specialist units, or even headquarters units, so their supply is a mess. Granted, I don't have any headquarters out that direction either, so my own supply's a mess. I don't have troops everywhere either, so I'm not in good shape. But you can see them advancing inland, presumably just trying to take a town, because towns generate supply, or ports generate supply. But right now, I assume these two landing units are also out of supply. The armor hasn't done anything. I don't know that they can, the guys who landed near Lorient. This is just a... Again, I'm just assuming this is a desperation play by the AI to stave off defeat in the east by distracting me in the west. Fortunately, Germany, for us anyway, has built basically every single unit you can possibly build. And so that does give me quite a bit of manpower on both fronts. First tank suffers some attrition. Soviet units surrounded here suffer attrition. And that'll do it for the turns. So we'll see. That was a much less bad turn.
Soldiers, sail
Allies assault occupied Europe. Yeah, okay. Better break out that failed D-Day speech there, Ike. We're gonna attack these tanks which have no supply. And it's dead. Okay. These guys also have no supply? They don't. I don't have as many troops to deal with them, but... the American 10th Corps, whatever it is. Destroyed. Okay. Alright, let's see. Any other landing forces here? There's one. Lord Gort! British headquarters. Hit them at sea. Motor torpedo boats. No! Damage evaded. The curse. Getting my sub in bad shape, but there doesn't appear to be anything else out this way. About to land in France. Maybe in London port, I'm not sure. The Port of London. Let's reinforce some of these fighters. They took quite a bit of damage over the last few turns. We'll deal with enemy interceptors that are going to do some damage to our medium bombers, but it does mean we'll finish that headquarters unit off. I thought there was a rockets hitting London port. Interceptors, I'll take the damage. I just want to see what's out here. Alright, nothing over here. Anything further east? No, apparently not. Okay, so maybe that's all there could be someone here near Exeter, I guess. Nothing in Portsmouth. All right, we'll get a 1-5 against this American battleship that drove it into port in Ireland. All right, let's go for the Warspite. I can't really hit the ship in port, so let's go for the destroyers, I guess. It'll make my subs' lives easier. Shattered that destroyer. Destroying all the destroyer. Ugh. I don't like how they immediately retreat. Let me destroy you boys. At least damage you. Well, that one retreated, but is still in reach. So Warspite is sunk. Big national morale benefit here, and we've still got enough movement points to move him mostly out of harm's way, I think. Subs can usually attack ports in this game, but most of my subs are used up this turn. There's the one British battleship left. Let's see. I drove them all out of range. I can't hurt them there. Alright. They're going to probably sink some of these channel ships in the channel. Mostly destroyers and whatnot. Can we finish this guy off in Southampton? Yeah, we sank him in port. Good job, submarine. You did your job. Alright, that's another enemy capital ship sunk. The Americans commissioned another ship. They're up to 8. Maybe 2, actually. I think we only damaged the battleship. The British Royal Navy is down to 14 ships, so they're down another 6. Our Navy might actually be stronger than theirs at this point. Okay. Let's reinforce some of these ships in harbor. Spending a lot of our money replacing losses from this aborted D-Day. They got one unit that'll still be ashore, but pretty good result there for us. Meanwhile, down in Russia, what are we going to do down here? Go for Baku. Okay. The Italians are taking a lot of the border towns around here. The interceptors are where? We got escorts. I don't see the enemy fighters, but they're somewhere around there. Shattered. Nice. Alright, so we destroyed the enemy unit in Baku. I guess they could place a new one there, because I don't have the movement points to take the town. Tower, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Alright, take that town. Most of these towns way out east in Persia. Not actually... Oh, it's up at Krasnogusk. Okay. Not really worth anything, but Baku is worth quite a bit. MPP's 10, so once we take that, that'll be nice. Grozny's worth quite a bit too. Alright, can we deal with these guys here? They've got almost no supply. Shattered that force. Let's grind them down. Undo that. Can I undo that? Yeah. Let's move this army down here. Army versus army is generally a better way to go. I wonder if you get a preparation bonus for attacking a enemy that you didn't have to move to attack. Because you do in the World War I game, which I always just assumed was, you know, a sort of a World War I-ism of the game. But it sure seems like that's also what happens here. Alright, we've almost got these guys encircled. Destroy the second army with our tanks. Damage the 33rd Army. Nice. Destroyed that 18th Army there. Oops, undo that. They've already attacked. Alright, so we've kind of got... Well, we're close to surrounding multiple enemy units. I don't know that we've really encircled any of these dudes yet, but... Okay. Alright, so... Keep on driving. Alright, we didn't do any damage to that headquarters unit. Finished off that surrounded core. These tanks technically do have this port here, I think, so it gives them a little bit more supply. Didn't matter for them in the end. We still shattered them and destroyed them. Operate this. Would have liked to have operated that unit. But pincering off these guys in the northern part of the Caucasus, rapidly crushing these forces between us. Okay. Really? I didn't think they'd have defensive artillery. I thought we used up most of their ammo last turn. The movement through these mountains is so difficult. Which makes sense, but... Let's take out these tanks here threatening us to the north. 0 to 4. Oh, I thought we had him. Now we got him. Alright, we come in behind Kazan now. And maybe cut these guys off from supply? I don't know how well our supply will trickle north. Not well. But in theory, we've just cut these guys. Well, no, they still got rail lines coming down from Perm. But maybe we bypass some of the enemy resistance. That move. Then we'll get a little bit better supply if we move that headquarters. Let's bombard these guys with artillery first. Then hit them with tanks. Okay, took out that lead enemy army. Can we hit the guys to the north too? Check the guys to the north! Those guys need to reinforce. I thought we were going to finish him off there. Finally finished that core off. Holy cow, there's a lot of troops up here. Alright, maybe we can push these guys back a little bit here and expand our salient a little. Maybe? Alright. Well, the grind continues. I am deep into Russia. Deep in the heart of Russia. Alright, those guys are pretty much done. I guess we could try and swap the infantry here. Can these guys swap? No. Okay, I think that does it for everybody over here. So, when's Turkey gonna come in? I feel like Turkey's got to be about ready to be like, so, this is our moment. Those guys down here should have a Tiger tank ready to assault Tunis. I'll move this Italian sub up. Switch these guys over to hunt mode. Move this German sub up too. I don't know why this the hunt mode gives them like way more range. Maybe I shouldn't have moved these ships further into the channel or even around the channel, but I did, and we managed to destroy that American destroyer. So that's one more warship gone. The Americans down to 7. Guess we'll see what happens here. Badly damaged battleship in Ireland. They'll have to spend a bunch of money to replace that. These guys already flew. These guys already attacked and fought. Pretty much it for this turn, right? Guess we can operate this army somewhere. Okay. That pretty much does this one in. And that's going to be where we leave this episode off. We've been going for over an hour, so we'll wrap it up here. I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of Strategic Command World War II War in Europe. And until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.